Well, hello. I'm so excited to share so many wonderful things. And I wanted to share about this whole experience. Can you hear me okay? I don't know if Bob's listening, if he's tuned in, but I'm just curious as to whether or not I can be heard. All right, maybe I'm going to end this one and start again. Okay, good. I could almost kind of sort of hear myself in the other room. Fantastic. All right. So I want to share with you my experience of oracle cards as of late, which has been really, really interesting because I I've had cards for a long time, like I've been on the spiritual journey for a minute. I have this magical messages of the fairies card, their oracle cards. I also have some goddess cards. I have the oracle of the seven energies, and I just have a number of different decks. And actually, I did just buy some more decks. This is all about the moon cycles, and what their meaning is, and how they can speak to us about maybe things that we're experiencing in our lives. And I just want to share with you, this was one that I just got. Oh, I'm excited about this one. The Spirit Animal Oracle. I'm really excited about this one. So this is brand new. I have not even um, used this Oracle deck yet. However, I want to tell you about what's been happening for me. So this year, I got this book. It was called Journey Makers, and it was actually a book that took you through 2024. It takes you through 2024, and you actually have like an oracle. Like you do a 10 card spread for 2024, which is what I did. And then, like, it'll have you pull a card for February or for March or for April. And then maybe there'll be different days where you'll pull cards and you record all these things in this journal. And so I was really, really inspired by this because 2024 has just been so amazing for me. It's like I have this feeling like something magnificent is on the verge of happening, and like there's this whole thing with like exponential growth, and like this is the time to really step into our brilliance and our power and our beauty. And so I had as some of you may know, I went back to visit my mother and my sister and her family on the big island of Hawaii. And so what I did when I went, because it was like early in the beginning of 2024, in early January, I decided to take some of my planning stuff and my visioning stuff and all of the things that I was, like my vision board and my mind maps and colored pencils and markers and sketchbooks and all kinds of things like that, right? So that I could get really creative with my new year. And so I brought all these things, and I also brought some oracle cards. I brought some cards, and I brought four different decks that I had. Right. So I brought these four different decks, and I came to Hawaii, and I was getting ready to do my 10 card 2024 card pull, right? Where I would draw these 10 cards that would represent growth and opportunities and gifts. And it would also represent my overview for 2024, things like this. And so there was this 10 card spread that was in the book. And then you went and you kind of wrote down all of the things, all of the cards and their meanings, and you logged all of this in the journal. So I'm sitting there, and there was like I had a little few moments to myself. My mom was taking a nap, and the rest of the house was kind of busy doing other things. So I took a moment to sit down with my Oracle deck and open up my journey workbook and take a look inside of there and pull my 10 cards and begin to do that process. Now, this is the particular deck that I used right here. This one is called Sacred Revolution Oracle. And this actually is from Lainey. She's a local, she's like a Missourian. Like, I don't know if she lives in the St. Louis area. I don't think so. However, she is a very powerful divine goddess, and she created this deck. And I actually used this deck for my 2024 10 card pull. Some amazing things came out of that. Anyhow, let me get on to telling you about this. So I was doing that. I was pulling my 10 cards, and my niece walks in and she goes, "Hey, Auntie, what are you doing?" And I said, "Oh, I'm pulling my 10 cards for 2024. And she says, "Oh, really?" She says, "I would love to pull 10 cards for my 2024. And I said, "You would?" I said, "Actually, I have decks. Why don't you pick one? And you can pull 10 cards and see what your 2024 says." Well, what she tells me then is that she says, "I just bought myself a deck." So she went and she got her deck. She brought it in. But as she was kind of looking at my deck and her deck and stuff like that, she found one of my decks that she really liked. So she pulled 10 cards from that deck. So as we're kind of like pulling the cards and we're kind of like going through the whole experience of reading the meaning of each one of the cards and how it relates to our vision and what it is that we're creating for our new year, right? As we're both doing this, my sister comes in and she goes, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And I said, "Oh, we're pulling 10 cards for 2024. Would you like to pull a card?" I said, "Go ahead and pick a deck because I already brought a couple. And so just pick one and pull 10 cards and we'll see what your 2024 has in store for you." So all three of us were sitting at the table, and each one of us were taking turns reading our cards, right? Like, so like if it was my turn, we would do my whole 10 card read, and it would like paint this miraculous, beautiful, magnificent divine picture of what was going to be unfolding for me in 2024. Oh, and was it ever so wonderful and fabulous, and oh my gosh, I'm just so excited to experience and really um live into everything that was revealed in that reading. So my niece, she had a different deck and she was pulling these cards, and the cards were actually speaking to her actual situation, which was she had some dynamics that were happening in her relationships. Things were changing and moving, and the cards are really speaking to that. My sister, on the other hand, was embarking on a new financial or new business entrepreneurial adventure. And so her cards were speaking to all of that. And we were all just really kind of amazed at how perfect everyone's card reading was for them. And it was so interesting that the cards were just speaking to us on a like individual level. Like, it seemed like the cards were perfect. It wouldn't have mattered what card we would have pulled out of the deck. The card that would have been revealed was the card that we pulled. What was the card that showed, right? So it would be like all of the cards in the deck were seven of spades, right? Because it wouldn't matter which one we would pull, it'd be the seven of spades. But I had to kind of had that feeling about it wouldn't really matter. It didn't really matter if I pulled off the top. It didn't really matter if I pulled out of the middle. It didn't really matter if I spread them all across. It didn't really matter because I sensed into the knowing that whatever the cards were that I was going to pull, they were going to be absolutely perfect for me and for the message that I was wanting to receive from the reading. So it was profound, and it was profound for my entire family. So we did that. And I don't know why my nose is so tickly right now, but I'm trying to think, did I eat something a minute ago? No, my nose is just tickly. But the next morning, I asked my mom, I said, "Hey, guess what we did last night?" I said, "We all pulled 10 cards for our 2024. Would you like to pull 10 cards from one of my decks?" And she said, "Of course I would." So she actually pulled 10 cards, and it was amazing for her because she's in the process of writing a book that she's been working on for 20 years. And 5 months ago, she lost a really important chapter. Somehow it got deleted off her computer or something like that. Ever since then, she hasn't been able to work on the book at all. So the book has just been sitting there doing nothing, and she's been just, playing solitaire and watching watching movies. And so she was just heartbroken about losing all that information from her chapter, and she couldn't bring herself back to working on her book. Well, when her cards came up, all of her cards were speaking directly to her book, that she needed to get back on her book, that this was her legacy, that there was time to get back and focused on what she was going to leave behind. And so it activated her in a really powerful way. So all of the oracle readings activated each one of us in unique ways that was specific to our own personal journey, which was like absolutely crazy. And this is how it works. It really does work like this. I believe it does. Because here's the thing, my sister didn't like her cards. She didn't like them. She didn't, because her cards told her to go back. Her cards told her to stop what she was doing and to turn around and go back. She didn't like that. So the very next day, we were like, well, you know what? Here, pull from this deck. See if those cards see if you like that reading better. But in the back of my mind, I thought, the reading, it's not really going to matter if it's this deck or this deck or this deck or this deck. All the readings are going to come out the same. They're going to come out the same. So she used a different deck and she pulled 10 cards. And her first 4 cards were looking really good. She was like, wow, okay, it looks like I'm off to a great start. And then she pulled the very next card, her 5th card that she pulled. It was a card that said, not for you. There it was, not for you, not for you. This is not for you. And so sometimes, those warnings will come. But I found it to be interesting how the cards gave the same exact message. The same one. It was really crazy. It was really crazy. And, and how could they give her any other message except for the same one? Because they're answering the same question that she's asking. Like, tell me about my 2024. Tell me what's going to unfold for me. What is being held in my future, right? What is the opportunities, the gifts and opportunities that are held, right? What are my the guides that will be with me, right, throughout my journey? And you ask these questions of the cards and they tell you. They tell you. So it was just a miraculous, wonderful experience. And what I loved about it more than anything is that my family was getting like really incredible advice. And it wasn't coming from me. It was coming from the cards. Like, it wasn't me saying, hey, you need to do this or da 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 da. It was the cards that were saying, you might consider these things and these things. So it was so wonderful because everybody was able to receive the information from the oracles. And they were profound and beautiful. It was amazing. Oh my gosh. So I'll tell you what, I will share. Let's see how I can do this. How can I share the 10 card spread with you? I'll figure out a way to share it. I'll figure out a way to share it in my next video. I'll just do something where I'm like, okay, I don't know if anybody's chatting. I have an absolutely black chat screen. So if anyone's typing in here, I'm so sorry that I'm not able to see it. And I love to acknowledge you when you're in the chat room. And I see like there's like 4 people here and some thumbs up, and I love that. But I'm not seeing anything in my chat. So I'm not sure if it's just something that's been disabled on my channel. However, if you're saying things or asking me questions, I apologize that I'm not able to respond. So I don't know what your experience is with oracle decks. I mean, I've probably had this deck for like 15 years, like seriously, because I think this was probably like one of the very first decks. Like maybe I've had this for like 20 years. 20, Yeah, at least 20 years. I mean, Doreen Virtue doesn't even do these anymore. So, um, but I never, I mean, I've used them very casually. Like I'd pull a card every once in a while, maybe I'd pull 3 or 4 cards in a year or something like that. It wasn't something that I was like doing um, with any consistency. However, now I find great information, great guidance, I would say, in the cards, when I pull them. And and it doesn't matter. I don't have to stick to one particular deck of cards. Like if I'm pulling like a daily card, I can pull from different decks. And I think I love that. I love that. It's so fun. I also love the fact that the decks can help me understand things, in a better way, like moon cycles. Like this deck is going to help me understand moon cycles better, which I'm really excited about, and also too, like this is going to teach me more about spirit animals and their meanings and things. So, like, not only is it are these just great guidance and oracle cards, but they also have profound information, things that you can learn from them in here. Same thing with the fairies. You know about the fairies, don't you? You do know they're real, right? 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 When I was in the redwood forest, the fairies are there. In your woods, the fairies are there. I'm seriously telling you. Elementals. Beautiful, beautiful. In any case, so I would inspire you. I don't know if you have a relationship with an oracle deck or um, something like that, but if you don't, and this, kind of inspires you in any way, or feels like in resonance for you, I would suggest get a deck and see what that feels like to, seek guidance from uh, from the wisdom of an oracle. Hey, you know what? Let's do this. This is kind of interesting. Oh, look, this is a brand new. Oh, so I want to tell you. So I just got this from Hay House. They're having a sale right now on their cards, and so I took advantage since I was having such a fabulous time. Look at they're brand new. I'm unboxing them. The Oracle of the Seven Energies. Right. The artwork on some of these cards is really beautiful. Let me show you. So this is like I'm opening it up. Oh, look. And it's the back of the card. And then let's see, we can show you some of the artwork. Broken open. Waking the lion. The Oracle's gift. Look at how beautiful those cards are. That's one thing I love is sometimes the artwork is so incredible. Like having like 50 pieces of art. Look at this. Roots of abundance. Oh, look at that tree. It's gorgeous. And this one here is, oh, I love this. Look at this earth magic. See, those are bare feet on the earth. And look as the electromagnetic energy of the earth is coming up into our bodies. Isn't that awesome? Wow. This is a beautiful deck. Oh, look at this one. Feeling the world. Feeling the world. Time machine. Aren't they pretty? They're so pretty. Let's see another one here. Let it go. Let it go. I wish I could see the chat. Ooh, I like this one. Endless possibilities. Wow. Yeah, so, you know, this is an amazing oracle deck that I just got. And so, yeah, just going, seeing beyond. Go to Hay House and check it out and see if there's any decks there that you like. In perfect harmony, right? And there's just so many to choose from too. I mean, wow. I just got a couple. I didn't get too many, but there's a lot to choose from. So you could definitely have a good time. So hayhouse.com, you can go there and look for some oracle cards. And putting them back, and let's see, what does it say here? Co-create your most your most beautiful and meaningful manifestations. Yeah. So really what I loved about the fact that everyone in my family pulled the 10 cards, and they did these incredible readings for themselves for their 2020. What it did more than anything is it just helped to raise their spirits and lift them up and give them a vision and give them excitement and enthusiasm, and like, whoa, and it was really magical to watch it. It was like all of a sudden everybody just turned on, and it was really beautiful to behold. And I have since then, even since I've gotten home from Hawaii, I've done 10 card pulls for some of my friends because they felt like a little lost, or like they didn't really, they're like, I don't know, I feel like I'm not really, I don't know if it's depressed or whatever, but I just feel kind of stuck. So I said, you know what, let's just do a 10 card pull for your 2024. And we would do I just did 3 of them yesterday for my good friends. And we pulled these cards, and each one of the cards, they actually only had one deck. I wasn't prepared, so I hadn't brought a number of decks with me. So they only had one deck. So everybody was pulling, everybody did their turn, and then they would shuffle the deck, and then they would each do their own 10 cards, and we would do the readings. And once again, extremely profound and powerful, and a lot of creative visions were manifest in that time together. So these are really, I mean, I don't want you to take this lightheartedly. These can be really, really powerful for you if you choose to take the information and like use it to your best advantage, and just like be open to it. You just never know. All right. Okay. Well, I love you. I love you. Ooh, this is a long one. I hope you have a good time. Enjoy your oracle cards, and I'll come back and I'll share more with you about how to do a 10 card spread in my next video. I love you. Have a great night. I'm so sorry I can't see the chat, but I love you. I love you. I love you. Be loved, beloved. Bye.